Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Trimco. This is their part number 975L, and this is shown in the 625 finish, which would mean polished chrome. And the 975 is a standard door viewer from Trimco. However, this is the L version, which means that it is going to be capable of handling a thicker door than standard. Okay, and that's what the 975L looks like. You can tell that it's 625 polished chrome. The bezel is going to be polished chrome. The interior trim is going to match. So everything you see is going to be polished chrome. Very nice quality fit and finish. It threads very smoothly. And the 975L is going to be compatible with a minimum door thickness, and I'm looking at the link below this video to the document called template, of 1.5 inches out to 2.5 inches. So it'll work on an 1 3/4 inch thick door, no doubt, as will the standard 975, which would be the one you would want if you have an 1 3/4 inch door. But you get to a 2-inch door, then you start to think about the 975L, but certainly a 2 1/4 inch door, or up to 2.5 inches. And I have that threaded about 1 revolution, and you can see that our door thickness, they say 2.5 inches, and I'm coming up to about 2 9/16. So if I really did thread that, a full proper 3 turns or so, you're going to be in that 2.5 inch range. And when I bury it all the way down, according to the table, I should have a minimum of 1.5 inches. Now, since we're talking about unusual sized door viewers, threaded down 1.5 inches indeed. Okay, maybe even 1 7/16. Another one to keep your eye on would be the part number 975-1. That will give you a minimum thickness of 11/16 to a maximum thickness of 1 1/16. And you will say, well, I'd never have a door that thick. No, you wouldn't. It would be an 1 3/4 inch thick door. However, you have panels in the door is why you would probably use that. Then you can look at their other door viewers. The 975L is going to be in the 160-degree perspective, which requires a 1/2 inch hole for this preparation. The larger ones, where you get into the 180-degree, 190-degree view, those will take a 9/16 hole and have a noticeably larger diameter on the exterior. That's 1 1/16 inch on the bigger one. This has a basically 5/8 diameter, 19/32 on the outside. On the inside, I don't see that they give it to us, but here we go. 5/8. So that 1/2 inch hole is going to be important to not drill that any bigger, because you don't have any real room. And that's certainly not going to be a problem to drill a 1/2 inch hole correctly. You want to be mindful that when you're drilling the hole and exiting out the other side door, which is probably not what you want to do at all, you don't want to erupt that wood out so great that the overall diameter cannot cover what you're doing. What I like to do is usually I'll drill through the door with an 1/8 inch bit. I do that because I'm experienced, I'm practiced, I know that I can drill that hole incredibly straight. However, if you're not, you might want to drill partially from either side and then come with a larger bit, something that will score the face of the wood and drill halfway through. They make some fly bits that have these winged cutters on them that score the face of the material rather cleanly. And I think you can do it inexpensively and very predictably and reliably with a bit like that. Be mindful, though, when you are measuring for the location of the hole. From the floor up, if you're doing an ADA compliant requirement, Trimco specifies 43 inch. And that dimension can actually be a little bit higher according to code, but 43 is well within the median range of where that needs to be. 60 inch would be standard. If you're installing this viewer in your home, put it where you like it. Put it where it works. You do occasionally see doors with 2 viewers and preparations in them because Grandma moved in at some point. Well, she's a bit shorter, so they needed to add another door viewer down below that she could actually use. So be mindful of where you're going to locate it. Lower is better in the sense that it makes it more accessible to a greater amount of people. So if it's not handicap compliant code mandated, then 60 inch would be standard, 5 foot. Now, when you're measuring the width, be mindful. Is your door square edged or is it beveled? Makes a difference. So if you measure from the pull side of the door, which would be the larger side, and you go over the half of the width of the door, let's say 17 and 7/8, you put the tape measure on the push side of a beveled edge door, that hole's going to be in a different location, just enough to make it a fit, make it a problem, because this will not cover it very well. So be mindful of where you're going to locate that. If you do have a beveled edge door and you can put a square on the edge of your door and determine that, probably just take the, probably simply take the interior side, the wide side, and divide that number in two. And, maybe take, if you're going to hook the tape measure on one side, take a 1/16 of an inch as compensation, that you've got to calculate, because your tape measure is not going far enough because you're on the smaller side. So, just keep in mind, you don't want to have that problem. It's very likely you have a square edge door, but it's equally likely you have a beveled edge door. Okay. Now the 975L, the rest of the installation instructions that are here, refer to viewers also available with a cap. The larger ones they mentioned with a cap, which would mean a privacy cover. Privacy covers are very common nowadays when it comes to door viewers, because you want to be able to close off that hole from being able to have someone be able to manipulate the unit. And let's take a look and see if they'll offer those for the 975L or the 975 series. And I'm pulling up the catalog so that I can determine the proper part number. To see what they offer in that regard. Okay. I've got the catalog open and I'm searching for these caps. And according to the manufacturer's catalog, they do only offer privacy covers. They call them caps, but they're a hinged privacy cover for the 975 and 976 only. So if you want the function of a privacy cap, this would not be an option for you. And unfortunately, according to the template, if you need to get to a maximum of 2 1/8 inch door thickness, then you can go with that privacy cap. Okay. News stories lately where people turn the door viewers around in a door and be able to look in on people, or worse, record people. The privacy cap really defeats that when it's used, when you're using that hardware. So be mindful that it's been a thing. This is 2018 as I'm recording this video. The last couple of years, I went 20 years and never sold one, I think, and then now you sell them all the time. That's just how hardware goes. So be mindful of the availability of that for those two different models. Below this video is a link to the product brochure, which we've talked about, which mentioned those caps. The template we've talked about. Product maintenance, it's just a generic statement from Trimco telling you what they can or what is recommended to do on a piece of hardware. I don't expect you to have too much maintenance to ever do on a door viewer. This is available in 3 finishes: 605 polished brass, 613 oil rub bronze, 625 polished chrome. There's really nothing satin chrome, but this would be kind of what you'd probably use. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Trimco products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now, the name Trimco, I'm quite partial to, and it's really because while there are companies, and most all trim and auxiliary companies have excellent fit and finish, Trimco seems to be a step above when it comes to the caliber of the finished product. I've received solid brass hardware here in the past, and you can still smell the brass polish on it. And it tells me that someone has been working that, making it look incredibly presentable before it leaves their manufacturing facility. Trimco will not be the least expensive. They will probably not be the fastest to ship either, but I can tell you that their material will always be well worth the wait. When you want your trim and auxiliary hardware to look as handsome as everything else in the space, Trimco would be the name that I would use. Any questions on the 975L in a 625 finish or any other Trimco product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.